We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, the workshop here of April the 8th, 2019. First of all, Brittany, what do you have for us this evening?
You have a fund summary report that was updated at the end of today. Most transfers done, all the bills are paid. And that's really it for me.
Okay, next is Pottery Festival discussion. They would like to have a beer garden for one night. That'd be a Saturday night. Wanted to know if council would approve that. I file for a permit for 1 day for them to have the 1 day permit for a beer garden during the Pottery Festival.
You think that's going to make it any more entertaining?
I have no idea. I wasn't at the meeting, so I'm doing the asking. I wasn't there. That's one I missed.
I don't have a problem. We've done it in the past for the Fall Festival when we had it for 8 or 10 years down there. Trying to think of any other festival.
Would be anything else that had.
I don't think.
I don't think anyone has since I've been here, but
Alton's had it several times.
I know.
I don't think there's been a fall
What the
fest
festival was,
since
but there was a beer wagon down by Reed State Park.
Yeah, we
I've
tried to, because we were flipping the Fall Festival back and forth with the football schedule so much, we were either early one year or we were 2 weeks later the next year. It was always fluctuating, so we tried to move it back downtown where it was all started, when they started it back in the day.
Oh, you bet.
And yeah, they set it up down there too.
I don't have a problem.
They're thinking, what, 6 o'clock to close? 6 to 10?
Mm-hmm. Somewhere 6 to 10 or 11, something in there. I don't know. I wasn't at the meeting.
We're going to sell a lot of beer tickets for $1 to make their money back by the time they.
I have no idea what the permit even costs.
They're not much.
They're not much. $35 probably.
But they wanted councils, see if they'd go along with it. And there's no objection. We'll put it on the motion for the next meeting and approve it.
Well, we've done it for Fall Fest.
Yeah.
Oh, the church goers will bitch about it.
Why?
Well, they did it Fall Fest.
Okay. So next on the agenda we have TJ with EMS, a possible new applicant.
This is Holly Bess. She's coming down to try to get on, and she'll actually be fire and EMS. Right now she just has her 36, but next is going to bridge over to 120. She's a paramedic.
How you spell your last name?
B-E-S-S.
What is it?
Best.
Where you come from, Paul?
They like to do
You like?
Yeah, we don't hold that against you.
Yeah, we don't hold that against that one strike. You'll probably just be working all the weekend and night shifts. Paramedic card?
Yeah, I've been a medic for it'll be 6 years in June. I've had my 36-hour card 4 years this month. I worked in a busy ER as a medic and I ran 911 before.
Okay. Where do you work now?
In the Lancaster Hospital in the ER.
FMC. Okay.
And Ralph said to let you know that he had everything, the background check and everything's back and clear, and he will bring that to you next Monday for the meeting.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll we'll have that on the agenda for a vote then next Monday also. Thank you. All right, Tom?
Yeah, I had a request from Bill Glass. He wants to extend the water line up Township Road 8 off the State Route 93. If you're familiar with the Pontius property, I'd be crossing what you're familiar with, what used to be the Cherry Car Company.
The road goes on up to 92.
Right, right before, going east right before you come to Buzzardboard
Up the
Road.
hill.
Dead ends up there, right?
No, it goes up.
Actually it does. It goes straight through.
You can actually get up from Scotch Heights too, and down there.
Oh, yeah, okay. I got you.
It's first up to that intersection.
Right
or
after
what?
you cross.
No, he only wants to extend it,
Alan White lives out there.
they bought the Pontius property. They only want to extend it 1,080 feet. That'll be a road bore right there at 93 there in front of the old car company there. Go up just right at the foot of the hill there.
The line all the way out along 93's there.
Yeah, we've got an existing 4-inch on 93.
Freddie brought up an interesting thing that I certainly never thought of, because if you want fire protection for anything, you gotta have a 6-inch.
We don't do fire protection on out of town lines.
But I had a question, Tom. Is there any EPA requirements that we have to meet?
It was 2,000 feet. Anything beyond that, you'd have to have the permit to install to do an extension. I'm going to check with our EPA rep on that.
Okay. I just want to meet the EPA requirements, because I have no idea what they are now. So like that 4-inch line that's out there.
Well, it depends on the, again, on the length of the extension. I will check with Mr. Flagg with OEPA on that, but I don't believe he will need one, but I don't think that'll deter him if he does.
Just be another hoop to jump.
I believe their plan is to sell them off in 5-acre lots, maybe some couple 10-acre lots. So we'd be looking at selling maybe 6 to 8 taps on that line plus the revenue. So
Are we responsible for the road cost of the road board too?
we're responsible to do the permit for the bore
Okay.
to ODOT, yes. But by all means, the whole entire expense will be borne by Mr. Glass's.
Other than that permit.
Yeah, the permit's just,
So I would,
none of the work or none of that, We are the owner, so we gotta apply for the permit.
And then we own and maintain the line too, right?
After a year, we'll take over the line. But prior to, the minute it's disinfected and all the water runs through it, it'll be hard to sell taps on it.
so basically going to the bottom of the hill. Bottom of the hill,
Yeah, pretty much,
pretty much.
yeah. There's property on both sides of the Township Road 8. Next item I got's the water salesman. I'll make a recommendation, you can vote on at the next meeting to increase the gallons per gallon to 2 cents. Right now it's currently 1.68. And that's due to the new system that we have that charges us 5.9% for them to use the credit and debit cards. You can actually use your own cards now. You don't have to come in and buy a card.
Speaking of that, Tom, I know we just changed that out there. I need the company that supplied that, because New Lex wants to do the same thing. I talked to their village administrator at a meeting, and he's interested in doing the same thing that we're doing. So if I can get that off of you, the name of that company, I appreciate it.
Next item I got's the small shelter house at the park. As you know, the Pottery Festival's in the
Community celebration.
community celebration. There's not adequate power there to run virtually any cooker, fryer, anything, 220 volt. I'd like to get a cost, Southeastern Electric, to replace that wiring, upgrade to a 200 amp box.
That'd be great.
I'd also like to look at, get a quote on putting a metal ceiling in that same shelter house.
Oh, that'd be good too.
Keep from crawling around up there all
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that for Blue Moon, but I think Paul's got a little bit of money right now, we can get that done.
That'd be great.
Actually, today the check just come in for the real estate taxes. So. Perfect timing.
That'd be good, Tom.
Next item I got, Mayor, Mr. Locke, food pantry. You want to have a discussion on that?
Yes, Tom, I and the mayor met with the Mid-Ohio Food Bank representative and also a representative from the Perry Emergency Assistance Program in trying to find a better place for our small food pantry that we currently have on West Main Street. And that, what stimulated all this was there was 5,000 pound of food on a grant that was still available. They would like to place that in Crooksville. However, the food pantry could not hold that much in storage, so we looked for a storage place. And the only place we could come up with to store that was the old Beaumont building, part of it. And now there's other questions now has arisen. We told them we would store the food there and it can be transferred down as needed. However, they need a larger place.
There's people occupying the old building down here. Is that what you're talking about?
The old township hall is where they have it now.
They used to
Nah,
say
the
old
other
Beaumont.
He's
Beaumont.
taking the other
The other
Beaumont.
Beaumont.
Oh, yeah.
East Main.
The old bowling alley up at the head of Main
Out the old
Street.
alley.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's occupied.
Yeah.
How you gonna use it?
Yeah. So, there's some challenges there with that building. There's a lot of unanswered questions, but for right now, we do have the place for them to put the food and transfer it. But if they want a bigger place and have it up there, it's gonna have to cost somebody something. Now, with their programs they talked about, there's people you can sign up into their programs and become a member of their food network. However, our funds, I hate to use taxpayers' dollars to fund the food pantry for them. Can't do it.
It's illegal.
So, we could offer them the place, which we did, to put the food. However, if they want to move the pantry up there, they've got to come up with a way to fund it, pay the bills for the electric, and maintenance and insurance costs, things like that. We sure need a bigger food pantry in town based on what my observations and working twice over there at the food pantry, helping carry out food on various weekends.
Still gonna pass it out at the park then?
That's a different.
That's a different.
Different pantry.
Yeah, different.
It's
Okay.
commodities.
So, yeah, that's commodities. It's a little different. So,
Where would they pass it out at?
They
Is
pass
that
it-
people go in and pick it up or what?
they have to go in and pick it up, and they have to be income qualified. And
And zip code has to be Crooksville.
right, and that's currently how they run the program through the various churches in town. All contribute into it, and that's what keeps it open, and they buy food and things to keep it running. So,
No, you're kind of mixed, that's the pantry, commodities is different, right?
commodities is different, yeah.
Yeah, I think you were talking about commodities.
That's what
Yeah, he was talking about commodities, that's completely different.
I
Yeah.
had them confused.
But they're looking to pass them out from the same place, you pick them
Right.
up there.
If they have a place that, you know,
Do you pick them up all at the same time where it's gonna be a traffic issue, or is it just go when you need them, or what?
They said to us that it would take, at any one time, there would probably only be like 3 or 4 in there at the same time.
Okay, I'm gonna say you
So
can't
we'll
shut
have
down
plenty of
main and
parking.
South State.
The whole day.
and currently, how that works is the food pantry is that each weekend it's open. I think it's 2 weekends a month. Each church, they rotate whose turn it is, you know, to help volunteers. If we move it up there and have a larger place and they have to be open more, they're going to have to find some more staffing to help keep it open longer. There's a lot of challenges with that. The question before council is, you know, do we want to try to open that up, part of that building, for a larger pantry or not?
No parking at all up there.
It's limited parking, yes.
You can't line them up on Main and South State.
No. And currently, they use the church parking lot for the Free Methodist Church there to park in when they come and for the items there at the pantry.
You could actually have about 6 parking spots in front, if you went in front. Then you've got the street up there, the east main. Plus there's also parking out back.
You also gotta park the people that's working.
What's that?
Whoever's in there working has to have a place to park too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I don't think making that the public place to go in and get it stuff thing is the right way to do it.
Well, it's not the way to do the commodities by all
Yeah.
means.
Oh, no.
No.
You see how they line up the park, you
Oh, yeah.
continue to do them at the park.
Yeah,
The food pantries for people who need food.
yeah.
And it's not income based and it's not residency based. However, they'd like to just give it to Crooksville folks starting out. But there's no income. I mean, you're hungry, you can go in there and get something to eat. I mean, take it out. I mean, we done it once. You remember? We rented out of the old Teddy's place over
They're
there.
not Teddy's, that's what I was gonna ask, that's the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. Will McCall ran at that time,
Yeah.
same thing.
That's where the post office took their food, drive food. and
Right.
everything.
But it ended up there's, you know, things got out of control when people started dropping things off that, you know, that they had no use for, and they piled up, and then it become a, you know, a site that was not, you know, furniture started showing up, and then bags of clothing, and you know, those all should have went somewhere else. However, people dropped, and then it become an issue, and it just got worse from there, and then finally it.
I'd say try it up there and see how it works.
The food pantry end of it, they right now they get about 20 to 25 folks when they open.
That's
2 hours on Saturday.
Yeah, that's about right.
You know, and they're not all there at the same time, you know, they come and they go, and
We've been over to the lodge before and seen them park in, and we've had something going on. Of course, we've donated the last couple of years to it as well to help keep it going, so.
well, I think there's a lot of folks, you know, needy out there that need it,
And
and
as
you
it's-
know, it's,
I just had two things
As it's grown,
confused in my head, that you're gonna have 400 cars down there.
Yeah, no.
I think if it's just a food pantry, we probably could get by with it. But if they start like they did down at Teddy's place, because they were gathering up clothing and stuff like that to give to people, and that just makes it a little too much, I think.
They're not set up for that type of distribution center. It's set up for food.
just food.
Okay,
the
just
food pantry, they do say boxes, they do it up in boxes for family of 2, family of 3, a family of 4, you know, and they,
Right.
you know, it's all non-perishables, canned goods, and
Boxes and stuff.
but you know they will bring frozen hamburger meats if they want to put freezers in there or what have you. Then through the summer months, if you recall when we used to do it before, they'll have produce, and if we want to send a dump truck down there, they'll fill it up full of corn. You know, anybody can get that then. It don't go to the pantry, just pull it up there and whoever wants it.
Sure.
Tomatoes, we've done it all, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just give you one example, but about a few months back, a gal come in here and, long story how she got here, but, you know, she didn't have a place to live, place to nothing, and was hungry, and, you know, all we could do was call the church, you know.
And they give her food, so.
You'd be surprised at the folks that use it,
I don't have any
that
problem.
need it.
But there's also an opportunity of telling them about Genesis and that.
Well, Genesis in hospital systems is in negotiations with the Ministerial Association and the those physicians that's employed by Genesis to have a facility in Crooksville that would be able to supply food for diabetic patients. It's like a food pantry for diabetic patients, basically, is what it is. Now, to qualify for that food, you'd have to have a signed prescription from the doctor. That's still, they're still looking for a place. I meet with the Ministerial Association about this next week. There's a lot of moving parts to it. However, the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, they cannot participate in that because it limits the scope of the people that is eligible for the food, for the diabetic food. So that's another challenge we have to face and see how, you know, we're going to overcome that for the other people that don't go to Genesis Healthcare. And I'll find more about it at the next meeting with the Ministerial Association. But, you know, it sounded good, but according to the Genesis representative, there's a high diabetic patient base in the Crooksville area, and that's why they wanted to try to target our area with a new type of system to help the low to moderate income residents, diabetic patients, yeah. So that's in the works. The question at hand, though, is, you know, well, how do we proceed with the food pantry? That's,
Put it on
yeah.
the agenda.
So I could try to have a representative here answer some questions that I can't answer if you like for next Monday night. Try
It's
to.
just like it was over at Teddy's.
It's-
I think everyone's familiar with what it did.
It's the same, and not much has changed. So.
And if it becomes a problem, you know, they just won't be able to stay.
We'll try leases.
There's a lot of additional funds they'll have to come up with for, you know, because of the larger facility. But, you know, I'll see what they say.
They have to pay, we
Right.
can't subsidize that.
That's correct. But the best thing we can do is offer the place, so. Okay. We'll put that on the agenda. What else, Tom, do you have anything else?
The other thing I've got, executive session, ORC 121, 22 for real estate, G2.
Okay, before we do that real quick, our neighborhood revitalization grant, I put one of these on everyone's desk about the meeting. The first public meeting is going to be held here on Thursday, April the 18th at 6 p.m. The people from the Hocking, Athens, Perry County Community Action will be here to discuss with the public and interview them and give them a survey to fill out about what they feel is the needs of the village. The people that participate fill out the surveys. It's not what we done, it's them. They want to hear it from them and have them fill out the surveys. The first meeting, and that's Thursday, April the 18th at 6 p.m. here at the City Council Chambers. The second meeting will be held in May, that I have that date, but we have to get over this first meeting first, and then the second meeting to go over what the surveys said from the village residents about what they felt their needs were for the, you know, gonna
send anything
bring-
out to the residents, how they gonna?
I done that once, and that's my part. We done it first. I've turned all that over to HapCap. This is there now. They have to do 2 public meetings, and they run the meeting. They set the date. They didn't accept the dates that we submitted. They set them up. So that's all I got to say about that.
And the meeting will be in.
It's going to be right here.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 p.m. The other thing, you have a list of what Jerry's workload he had from that. One other thing, the Perry County Health Department, I'm still working with them on part of this food, about the food also, and see if they can help us out. So I contacted her in a meeting this afternoon, and I go back and discuss more with her next week. So the health department is involved too, trying to get some funds from them to help with the food pantry if possible. So we're doing all we can to try to help the people and residents. All right. So let's go into executive session under ORC 121.22 G2 to discuss real estate. Okay, we're back out of executive session. Any citizens' comments,
Yes.
complaints, or whatever?
You can stand up?
Sure.
Scream out. That's my second son. You're welcome to scream at him anytime.
All right.
Alright. You may state my name, where I live at?
Sure. Good.
Rocky Chevalier, 105 McKeever Street. I believe like that. 105 McKeever Street, Crooksville. Alright. My complaint, I have a couple written down.
Okay.
The gravel and debris that has landed in the yards due to the construction, is that in plans to be cleaned up at all? That is?
Yep.
Okay, because mowing season is right around the corner, so I wanted to find out that. How about yard damages? Will those yard damages be repaired, at least if they're complained about, or brought to your attention?
Yes, all complaints are passed on, like yours about cleanup, is passed on to the Freedom Construction to take care of.
Alright,
And I give, whoever complains, I give them Freedom's contact phone number. It's up to them to take care of the problem.
okay.
Another thing, let me make it clear though, that if you have damage to your property or vehicle, you have to have photographs of what caused the damage. You have to have a police report
Oh, okay.
and photographs of the damage itself. So an estimate of what, cost for repairs. And then that is all turned into, there again, the construction company, they forward it to their insurance, and their insurance company handles it the way they do, and we're out of it. But I just try to help everybody keep the process going. But you have to have a police report, photographs, what caused the damage, and the damage that caused, whatever caused it.
Right.
So,
Now, is a police report specific to just a vehicle damage, or is it to yard as well?
whatever your complaint is, if I have to turn it into the construction company for a claim, they have to have a police report and photographs.
Sweet. All right.
It's just where they have them come back and clean it up there. They are scheduled to come back
Right.
and do all the landscaping and sidewalks and all that stuff.
Okay, how about seeding grass?
That's all in the contract. They have to come back and when they go back over the properties and take care of them, clean them up, they have to be seeded, and yes, that's part of it. Where they tore up, they have to fix.
And that would be included with if they left a hole in the yard, or that's all in the same category?
That's all reclaiming.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What about the rest?
Make sure that's subject. Okay. All right. That's all I have about that. And how about the complaints about ATVs? I'm gonna bring that back up. Running around town loud, going fast, that kind of stuff. Is there something that can be done about that?
Well, if the police can catch them.
Yeah.
However, there was an ordinance passed or legislation, some type, passed through council that allows those vehicles to be on the streets from their home to get fuel and back to their homes.
Yeah.
That was passed several years ago.
Okay.
Pardon
I
me?
talked to Rodney. Rodney said that there was passed something in the 80s about, making it illegal for them to run around. I asked Brittany if she
I
could
didn't
find
find
anything.
it.
She couldn't find anything, so I hit Rodney back up and I haven't heard nothing back from Rodney.
Razors, side to side.
So I was wanting to know if there's something to be done about that,
Well,
other than chasing them down or bolting a gun to the side of the cop car.
There you go.
Well, they-
There's a house right across from me, or 6 of them in the garage.
I know it's in the basic code.
We had the gate closed on the park down there, and all 4 of them went around the gate.
So if I have a photo of someone on one that they're identifiable, could you go after them with that?
Well, you'd have to, there again, fill out a police report and a statement.
That's not hard to do, I
Yeah.
can do that, but can that be done?
That's one avenue of going at it and see if
Well, I
we
think
can.
it's about time that we look at something and do something. I mean, we have a resolution on the books or something on the books that they can go to the gas station. Just
No,
something
no,
on there that they can't do nothing.
let me correct that. We have nothing on the books that says they can go to the gas station.
If we do, it's not known to me anyway, and I want to know whether or not,
It's in the
What
basic
facts are
code
there?
and the higher wise code.
I see, if you can, afford a $12,000 RZR, you can afford a $20 gas can. Use your damn gas can. I don't care about your feelings. So,
Come and see me, I'll give you a copy of what they can and can't do.
awesome.
It's governed by the Ohio Revised Code.
All right, and someone brought this to my attention. I was just curious, but I haven't been around. I don't know. The tree that was across the fence of the pole, has that been repaired yet? I'm not complaining, I was asking.
The tree's been cut up and it's in pieces. The fence is put up halfway. It's not repaired completely, but the tree's cut down and it's ready to be hauled off. And the fence needs repaired. I just checked on that this afternoon.
Okay. One other thing, this is not so much a complaint or just a blah. I listen to New Lex council meetings every other week. This might go toward more you, Tom, because you mentioned it earlier about putting a metal ceiling in the shelter house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have this issue or not, but they had issues with birds in the shelter house having nests and that kind of thing, and they were wanting to put up some sort of mesh or wiring of some kind to prevent that. I don't know if that would, if the metal ceiling.
No, I like doing it right the first time.
Yeah, is that the problem? Is
Mhm.
do that?
That's one, I'll say it's one of the problems.
Okay. I didn't want to see it, but metal.
Besides kids climbing up on top of them,
Yeah.
and a couple of raptors getting busted out the concrete block, and
Oh, okay.
there's several reasons, but,
Okay.
Okay,
All right. That's all I've got for now. So,
Okay.
that's it.
I'll work harder next time.
You're getting soft, dude.
I am getting soft.
You're getting
I'm
soft.
starting to like you guys a little bit, A little bit.
Anything else come before workshop?
I've got a few things afterwards, but other than that.
All right.
I got one thing, if you turn that camera off, I tell you.
If you talk dirty to him, that pretty well.
Okay.
Hey, Muddy.
If nothing else come before workshop, we're adjourned.